Hello, welcome to HattonGames. This is going to be a video going over all the spot names and callouts for Dust 2. Obviously a lot of new players are picking up the game, and those who want to take it competitively will need to know the calls in order to communicate to their team. So we're going to kick things off from the counter-terrorist perspective. This area here is obviously the counter-terrorist spawn, or CT spawn. Some players will tend to abbreviate it all the way to just call it CT. As you come out of CT spawn near the A bomb site, you come onto what some people call elevator. It's called this because you go up, like an elevator, towards A. It can still be referred to as CT, but this is if you want to get super specific. An important spot to know here is gay spot. People tend to just sit here waiting for T's to cross. That actually leads us nicely on to the next call, which is crossover. This is the gap that the T's have to cross in order to get onto the A bomb site. Moving on to the A site now, and this spot is called A ramp. It's a very common spot for CTs to hold. Further on up, this spot is called Goose. The reason for this is that in 1.6 there was a graffiti spray paint that said Goose on the wall. This is obviously the A bomb site. If someone is playing here, you would typically call that he is on site. This area is called quad boxes. It's not so apparent in CSGO, but in Source there were 4 boxes stacked next to each other, hence the term quad boxes. Further on up is what people call short A or catwalk. This spans quite far from A site all the way to top middle. More specific calls would be short stairs or behind short stairs, which is a common spot players like to hold. Before we venture off any further, I want to show you the other section of A. There are 2 main routes to the A bomb site. One is short, which we just looked at, and the other one is long, which we're looking at now. Long spans pretty much the whole of this area, but there are some more specific spots you need to know. First of all, this is car. There's a little corner here where CTs like to hold short and long from. Then you've got the pit down here and the platform right beside it up here. Going even further will bring you to the long doors, and the area inside this is called long chamber. If you continue all the way through the chamber, you'll get to what people call outside of long. So that's the 2 main routes to bomb site A covered. Now we'll continue from where we started at CT spawn, but this time we're going to head on over towards B. As you come out of CT spawn, you'll be able to see through middle, but we're going to cover that in a little bit. This area here is called B ramp, or outside B. Going up the ramp, you'll find the ramp boxes, or boxes outside B. A new spot that players like to use in CSGO is the scaffolding, which is just this part along here. Then up here to the right is called window, and of course the other entrance is called B doors. So when you go into B site, there are a number of spots you need to know. We'll start from the back and work our way forward. This whole area here is called platform. This spot can be called either back platform or second bricks. The reason it is called second bricks is that in Source there were also bricks here at the front. This spot is called barrels. A lot of players like to hold this position as the barrels are actually impenetrable. Just in front of barrels we have big box. A lot of time you'll find players hold the site from behind here. As we come off the platform area, we come to what is pretty much all considered as B site. Sometimes you might have to call back of site if they're playing here, or close site if they're playing here. This spot is called fence and is somewhat new for CSGO. In previous versions this gap was considerably smaller, but now you can actually hide behind it properly. Over here is called close tunnels or close tons. If the CDs have the spawn for it, they might try and get to this spot. There are 2 separate sections in this part. This area is called car, which is a common spot people play, and this bit can either be called closet or car box. These are called double boxes or double box. It's a new spot for CSGO where players like to just sit on top and watch the tunnel exit. So moving outside of the B site, we come into the tunnels. There are 2 separate areas. Here we have upper tunnels or upper tons, and down here we have the lower tunnels. And of course this area is just called tunnel stairs. If we continue to go through the tunnels, we reach what is called outside B tunnels. Going any further will bring us to T spawn, but what I want to do now is go back where we started at CT spawn and go through mid, which we looked at earlier. These are mid doors, and this whole area is pretty much considered bottom mid. This is called mid box and is a fundamental part to a lot of team strats. And going further up you will reach the top of mid. There used to be a palm tree here in Source, but it's been replaced with a telegraph pole, so you can either call it palm or telegraph pole, whatever works for you. This area is called green box. The reason it's called this is that in 1.6 there was a green box right here. I've also known people to call these spots just top left mid and top right mid, but I wouldn't recommend doing that. The last notable spot on middle is Suicide Alley. This is the alleyway leading into the top of middle. It's called the Suicide Alley because if you get caught walking down there with an enemy AWP spotting mid, you're pretty much dead. If we continue on through mid, we will reach where we were before, outside of long. Keep going all the way and you'll be at T spawn, which is a pretty large area. It reaches all the way from outside of Long to outside B tunnels. Two notable spots are the T-spawn ramp and the T-spawn car, which are common places people like to save their weapons. So that's pretty much it for Dust 2. I know some of the calls will vary from different countries, but hopefully you get a general idea of what is what. If you missed my 2 previous videos, then you can check them out here. On the top is a rather funny video where I go invisible, and on the bottom is some zombie escape gameplay featuring the Mirror's Edge map. If you enjoyed this video, then please remember to give it a thumbs up, and if you want to see more, then make sure you subscribe. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.